Hello, everyone. This is Emmanuel Lyson, a certified financial planner, coming to you today with another edition of Financial Breakthrough Academy. I trust your week has gone excellently and that you're experiencing a great and awesome week in everything that you have going on in your life. Again, on this broadcast, we provide education to help you navigate the area of your finances, concept, information, tips, ideas, thoughts, things you can have opportunity to research some more, learn about, and implement in your own life. Nonetheless, it's important that you make some time to consult with a financial advisor, your attorney, or CPA to help you implement the concept that we share here. This educational content are meant only for your education. It's not designed to provide you any financial advice. For any advice, you have to go ahead and spend some time with a professional, financial professional that can help you navigate that. So, with that said, let's go ahead and jump into our session for today. Our goal today is to look at the topic I call developing financial behavior for success. Uh, I believe that all of us, no matter the level or the stage that we are in, we have a desire to be successful, especially in the area of our finance. Yes, it's just only one aspect of our lives, but nonetheless, it's very critical part of our daily ongoing activity. So we want to look at this subject today and glean a few concepts and ideas that will help us. The human mind and human life and the things that happen on an ongoing basis impact every aspect of our lives. So it's important to understand that there are certain behavior that we may maybe consciously or unconsciously exhibit and that will impact how we become successful financially. In fact, a lot of research has gone into this particular subject. What I'm attempting to do is not to bore us with the huge jargons in the financial world about behavioral finance, but to try to distill down some of the concepts in very simple language that all of us can be able to apply or understand for ourselves. So you may see just very differentiation in how we try to present the information for consumption here. Okay, so our topic today is developing financial behavior, and as you all know, we like to actually look at some form of biblical teaching and concept that inform us of what we are trying to talk about, and that's part of our value in our practice to look for wisdom, insight, ideas from learning from scripture and other writings that will help us to navigate the subject we're talking about. So today, our scripture that we are looking at here is in Proverbs 23 verse 7. It says that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As a man thinketh, the mind is so powerful. The mind is so powerful that it literally will align you and kind of put you in a place of whatever you are trying to do. You see, so that is why we try to provide this context in this respect. So again, the scripture is saying that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Whatever your financial goal and desire is, you'll be surprised how powerful the mind will contribute into attaining that particular goal or that objective that you have. With that, let's go ahead and look at another important. We have a saying one here that we want to look at to understand the subject we are dealing with again. So this writer said here that get rich fast and get poor fast are opposite sides of the same coin. This was by Daniel Gillespie. So again, we live in a world today where a lot of, I would say, gurus or investment opportunities tend to arise almost every time. Every year there's an opportunity here, opportunity there. You see, but if we try to chase after that get rich fast concept, in fact, as this quote is saying here, that get rich fast and get poor fast are opposite side of the same coin. In other words, whatever you tend to get so quickly with little or no effort, almost always it tend to disappear just as quickly as it came to you. And I think this is a powerful statement by Daniel Crosby that informs us on our subject today. So again, as we're having this conversation, you may be wondering, what do I do? How do I implement this concept? How do I get in touch? We're providing you, of course, on this platform. If you're here on Facebook or some other social media platform, you may be able to just chat in, but you may also simply text your name to the number on the screen, 720-575-1505, and one of our team members will get back in touch with you for a complimentary discovery call to see how best we can help you implement any of the concept that we are teaching on this platform. So you can go ahead and text your name there to 720-575-1505 so we can get back to you as quickly as possible in discussing some of the concept. So what is behavioral finance? I just wanted to give us a couple of definitions in terms of what it is the research has been put in says about the subject. So one of the definitions says that behavioral finance combines psychology and economics to explain why and how investors sometimes act against their own best interest, to analyze how acting on their biases can affect the overall market as well as individual investors' portfolio. Now that's a huge, big definition there. But basically, what it's trying to say here is that all of us, we tend to be affected, by our thinking and the economic situations. These two things combined, we tend to act in such a way that sometimes it may seem illogical. Is that right? It doesn't seem to be logical in that respect, but that is what research is telling us, that human behavior, the psychology, the way of thinking, or the behavior that we tend to exhibit sometimes, maybe if are contrary to our own interests, what we wish we would do. And that is exactly the reason we're trying to address this subject, that there are certain ways of thinking and behaving that may go against your own desires or what you are actually looking for. Another definition says that behavioral finance, a subfield of behavioral economics, proposes that psychological influences and biases affect the financial behaviors of investors and financial practitioners. In other words, there is an aspect of us that tend to be affected by how we react, or the way we make decisions when it comes to our finances, not just for investors but also for financial professionals or practitioners. Is that right? So the idea is that there are certain dispositions or biases, as we have it here, that may one way or the other affect the way we act on our own desire for financial freedom. Is that right? So these are the two definitions that I think explains a little bit in broad terms what the subject of behavioral finance is all about. Okay, now with that said, let's look at a few things. I've identified 5 critical financial behavioral situations that I think we may all, in one way or the other, again, be prone to or go through. Again, remember, I began by saying that huge research is out there when it comes to how we all behave in terms of our monetary and financial life. But my goal with this is to just identify just a few things, okay, in a language that we may be able to assimilate and really comprehend. So you may not hear a lot of the jargons, but this is just to get us thinking. So I have 5 of them here. I have beliefs, confronting limiting beliefs; procrastination, pushing away obstacles; decisive actions, avoiding analysis paralysis; following the crowd, called knowing your identity; and complacency. So these are the 5 areas that I'm going to talk about here in this particular teaching. But otherwise, let's go ahead and look at it one after the other. So when it comes to beliefs, I say here that what you believe about your money and your overall financial well-being will come to pass. That's just a statement I put together doing this research for this teaching. You see, belief is so powerful. Let me just hold on this topic for a minute here. That our beliefs are so powerful. What you believe about your finance, about your money, about your overall financial well-being is so powerful. It will literally create the outcome that you have in your head or in your heart. So I think this number one behavior of how we deal financially and the topic of money is so critical. So many of us have grown up in different settings and different environment whereby our, I would say, attitude towards money or finance has been not all that pleasant, I would say. You see, we speaking a lot to people my own background, where we have not grown up in an environment of having enough to eat, and many of us will relate to that topic. So we have grown up with a mindset about that financial matters or money. There's lack, there's insufficiency. It's just there's never enough for us. We are not worthy of this. Those type of behavior or thinking and belief system will literally create the outcome that we want when it comes to our money matters. So the point here I'm raising is that what you believe about your money and your overall financial well-being will come to pass. You pretty much become a self-fulfilling prophecy, if I may put it that way. Okay, because guess what? The point is, you're growing up. You and I grew up in an environment, in a place, specific, I would say, culture, that have people's viewpoint, how people think and how they view money, and how they look and relate with finance and resources. That mindset and that level of thinking will impact how your finances will be. So it doesn't matter how hard you are working. It doesn't matter how many hours you put in or the kind of business that you initiate, because of how your thinking is and how your mindset and your belief system is, you don't ever seem to move ahead. And that's the first thing that we want to address. And I think it's important that we understand that if we have a mindset of abundance, if we believe that we are worthy to receive, and that yes, it's possible for us also to work and make profit in our business, or we also can be promoted in our workplace, and that we deserve to earn our living and be paid a reasonable fair income or wage for what we do, or make a profit for our effort. I think that goes a long way to set the stage for our financial well-being. So the whole point is that, again, the belief that you and I carry about money and our overall financial well-being will come to pass. It will manifest itself. So we want to be careful what we are believing and what kind of mindset that we are carrying when it comes to money. And that's what this first point about developing the financial behavior for success is about. Okay. Now the second element and second factor is procrastination. I went out there trying to look for the definition of procrastination. Merriam-Webster defines procrastination, as you see on the screen here, that procrastination, it says that to be slow or late about doing something that should be done, to delay doing something until a later time because you do not want to do it, because you are lazy, etc. You see, I think it ties into the factor of the belief system. Is that right? So if we believe that we are not worthy, we believe that we're gonna fail, we believe that nothing is gonna go well for us, guess what? It's very possible that we will procrastinate, we will defer, we will not be motivated to take the necessary action. We will not anticipate something good coming out of the situation we are in. So procrastination is something that we have to be very cognizant of, that it's a trait, it's a behavior that will impact our finances. Okay, you see, after taking time to research and to analyze and to do all we have to do, if we tend to just defer the action and procrastination, put it away, and either because we're lazy, we are fearful, or whatever the reason is, those things, they go a long way to truly have a huge impact on our finances. So whether you are working for yourself as a business owner or you are working for somebody as an employee, you have to watch out for that. We all have to be cognizant of this fact that we have the tendency to procrastinate, the tendency to just put it away, another time we'll get to it, and never take action. Okay, so that's the another important element we need to address. And I say here that waiting to act on your finances because of fear of the unknown will not make the problem go away. Okay, came up with this phrase again. The idea of waiting to act on something, again we're talking about finances here, waiting to act on your finance because of fear of the unknown will not make the problem go away. The fact that we are fearful of something, of an outcome, about how, for example, maybe you have a credit card debt you want to maybe knock off. We are even afraid to open that bill when it shows up in our mail, and therefore we put it away. We just put it in a drawer somewhere, we just forget about it, act as if it never even came in. Well, you and I know very well that the credit card company, they'll still keep calling, they'll still send in the mail, they have this on autopilot, believe me or not. So you still receive the notices, and the problem doesn't go away. The fact that you are procrastinating, you are putting it away, you are just deferring the action, will not let the problem. So you have to confront it, be willing to confront it, to address it, and to be able to take necessary step towards that particular situation. Okay, so that's the other element we wanted to discuss. Now that takes us to the third thing, that is decisive action. Decisive action. You see, the tendency to delay important action for your financial success can be detrimental to your financial future. I think we have to be careful not to fall into the trap of analysis paralysis, whereby we keep analyzing and reviewing and planning forever rather than doing the research. Yes, taking time to evaluate what we ought to be doing about this particular situation, and taking the information we have, analyzing the information, being willing to truly evaluate our options and everything, and then taking the necessary steps. Yeah, success may not be guaranteed, but failure will not go away simply because we didn't take an action. You see, so if we take an action, we may fail, but we'll learn something from it. We'll learn a lesson and then improve on that. So there's a continuous improvement that goes on as we take decisive action. So the point there is decisive action, being willing to take action on for our finances, and not fall into the analysis paralysis issue whereby we spin our tail and wheels continuously for months or years on something that, if frankly we took the necessary step, maybe it should be all gone. You see, so that's the other thing that we want to be aware of when it comes to the financial behavior that may impact our success ultimately. Now, the next item there is following the crowd. Now, for this, I went ahead and put up one of the actual, I would say, research terminology that has been created for that. Is they call it herd behavior. So the definition there says that herd behavior states that people tend to mimic the financial behaviors of most of the herd, or the people, or the crowd. Okay, so the idea here is that when something is happening, human beings as we are, we tend to follow what is the norm, or what everybody's tend to be doing. Is that right? So when it comes to financial decisions and finances, in investing, okay, people may fall into that trap. People may fall into that situation of wanting to just do what everybody is doing, mimicking the financial behavior of most of the people. And you all know very well that we are all unique. All of us have unique attributes and unique personalities and circumstances, our income, our background. Everybody is unique. So yeah, there may be some general, I would say, identifiable traits or characteristics for all of us, but far and wide you really realize that there's uniqueness in all our lives. So the idea that somebody, for example, when it comes to spending, if somebody is doing very well, and perhaps they have this huge mansion or house, and for that matter, you feel obliged and pressured, the society, we have the peer pressure going on, everybody is doing this, so you also jump on the back wagon and clothe yourself in clothing that nobody cares about, or start an enterprise that really you are not prepared for, or start a project. For some of us that migrants from different parts of the world, if you start a project back home just because somebody also started one, yeah, it may be okay, but is it really okay? Is that right? Does it fit your goal? Is it in alignment with your personal objective for your life, for your family? So the herd behavior is, as the technical term they use, is a situation whereby people tend to just mimic what everybody else is doing, and that's not the best way to go about it. So we have to be careful. It doesn't mean that what everybody else is doing is bad per se. Just you want to evaluate it, make sure it fits your own situation, and that it aligns with your personal goals and objectives when it comes to your finances. So that's the point on that situation here. The next thing there is complacency, by which we mean here that I'm asking the question: how comfortable are you with where you are today? It's very, very easy to just rest on our laurels. Is that right? We rest on where we have arrived at, and therefore, things are changing. Situations are not constant. As we speak, inflation is off the chart. In historically speaking, 5-6%, and yeah, we deal with a pandemic, things we have not really, I would say, dealt with in our lifetime over the last, few uh, couple of dozen years. So I think that it's important that we don't just rest on our Lord. Not to say that we continue just burning out and overkilling ourselves just to chase our finances or money, but we have to be in a constant evaluation of our own situation to see that where we are meets our desires and our goals and our financial objectives and responsibilities. If you have a family, you have kids, there's a point where your children may be small. There's a point where they go to high school, they go to college, so at every stage in that journey, there is some form of adjustment that we have to make to meet that particular stage that we are in. So the question is, do you have this a sense of urgency to do more, do better, and improve? What's your own sense of urgency when it comes to the ability to do what you have to do to be at a place that you want to be in your life? You see, so complacency, it's another important behavior that we want to be aware of as we address the subject about financial development, that financial behavior that will enable us to excel and to succeed in our financial journey. Of course, as the year has begun, you may be still working on your own goals and your objectives and your plan and vision and resolution. So I feel like this would be a good time to look at these particular elements and subjects that as we talk about them, we may be able to make sense of it. So I also mentioned that there are dangers of past success. They are like landmines you must avoid to move ahead successfully. As we progress in our career, in our life, success, as we succeed, a lot of times we may be tempted to just hold on to our past success, and complacency may set in. So we have to be cognizant of that and address that in our journey on financial matters. So with that said, let's do a quick review of what we've talked about today. So our subject was on developing the financial behavior for success, and we touched on it, just a few items. Again, I mentioned that the goal here is just to allow us to truly get a sense, not just from that huge academic perspective, but just basic language. And we talked about watching out for beliefs, procrastination, decisive action, following the crowd, and complacency. All of these go a long way to help us. If we watch out for these things, I think we are in a position to be able to develop, help ourselves developing strong financial behavior patterns and habits that will ensure that we succeed. So I think that should give us a little bit of insight on the specifics and I would say invisible factors. You see, finance and money is not all about the dollars and the cents, but some general things may go a long way to impact that. So with that said, again, if you would like to be able to have opportunity to sit down and chat a bit or have a discovery call with us, just text your name to 720-575-1505. We'll schedule a time with you and just review some of the things we talked about, and any other aspect of your finance you may be interested in discuss. You just have a question, just a complimentary call, no obligation, no cost to you, to be able to help you understand, provide education. Again, our goal with this platform is to help educate, provide information, ideas that you may be able to go ahead and implement and help you in your decision making. I believe that that should do it for our session today. It has been my pleasure to be with you again. This is Emmanuel Lyson, your certified financial planner, financial educator, helping you understand some of the concepts and ideas that may help us to prepare ourselves for financial breakthrough for families, for our faith work, for all the areas of our lives. With that said, I wish you all the best in the course of your rest of your week, and we'll be back another time. Have a blessed rest of the time.